I have always been a fan of buying used. In fact, to this day I haven't bought a new graphics card or CPU. And I would like to say I'm proud of that because I've gone over like 80 builds at this point. This has saved me a ton of money on parts, but what has saved me the most has been by buying complete PCs. I personally love the pre-builts, things like CyberPower, iBuyPower, bro. I love those PCs. But of course, I don't always get pre-builts. I buy a lot of computers that people have built themselves. And that is why I was leaping with joy when I found this PC right next to me at the price of $400. Okay, but how did we get there? Well, so we had it listed for $500, but after some tough negotiations, I was able to haggle him down to $400. Maybe. I actually didn't even say a word. I just asked him if he was firm on price, saw that he was firm on $500. I let the pot stir a bit, and eventually he just messaged me back saying he'd be willing to do $400. So after hearing this great news, I got into my truck, went on my way to pick it up, tested it out, and just took it off his hands. And I actually did pay him. He was a great dude. But I got the computer home, and here right next to me is the build. And so here's the PC. Now what does it have inside? So for the CPU, it has a 12700K, a very solid CPU. As far as the GPU, it has an RTX 3060, but it's not the regular one. It is actually the 12GB model, so it goes for a lot more. As far as the RAM, I believe it's 32 gigs. And the case overall is a Lian Li. I can't remember the model off the top of my head. It does even have Lian Li fans. It seems like the cable management is pretty good. Another thing that really pops out about the build is it has a very high-end motherboard. So this right here is actually a Z790, which is like out of the 13th and 14th gen, they're like very high-end boards, which is pretty good. And on top of that, the AIO is actually the Kraken, I believe the X360 Elite. So that alone goes for like 150 for the AIO alone. So yeah, I would say I scored a pretty good deal. Or no, probably the only change I'm gonna make is just cleaning it out. It is really dirty, and I'll put some clips. But hopefully the dust isn't too hard to take off, because from what I'm seeing, like even from right here, it just looks nasty, which is something that I deal with fairly often. In fact, I have countless videos where I show PCs just like this, where they're just as dirty. But it is really annoying when it's on a white build because it just stands out so much more. But yeah, we're gonna be cleaning it out, we're gonna be testing it out, and finally I'm gonna make a quick montage towards the end. So if you'd like to tag along, feel free to do so. So, you guys saw the last clip, you guys know I'm gonna be focusing on this build for this one. But I thought the video would be kind of stale, kind of boring if I only do a cleanup or show you guys this part, just because I don't think I'm gonna change much in the build. So I'm gonna show you guys a quick haul of what I got this week. And as you can see, the theme is pretty much white for some reason. I just, for some reason, got a bunch of white parts now, including some matching graphics cards that have the same heatsink, but they're different models. So we're gonna start off with something interesting for you guys, because I got this graphics card for completely free. Now, it wasn't out of nowhere. He didn't just list it for free. This was actually from somebody that I purchased a Ryzen 5 3600 from. And they were originally trying to sell it to me when I got there, and I purchased a CPU from them. But I had told him I wasn't interested because he was charging like 40 bucks for it, which was still a good price, but it was just missing this fan right here. And I was like, I don't really want to disassemble the thing, and I don't really want to go into it. So I would recommend that you just list it up for sale. He never got around to doing it. Around 3 months passed, and then he finally hit me up. He was like, hey, if you'd like, you could just have it for free. It's completely on me. And I was like, appreciate it. And then I went to go pick it up, and he literally just left it on the porch, and no questions asked. I was like, all right, I'll take it off your hands. And on top of that, he even gave me, this is not within the same purchase, but he gave me a 500 watt power supply. Not necessarily too good. It's like one of those ketchup and mustard type of things. But nevertheless, I'm thankful for that man for giving me that stuff. But on top of that, so I got the power supply, the GTX 1070. On top of that, I actually got some black RAM stick for completely free. So that was a pretty nice thing that he did for me. These two, this is actually a computer with an i7 7700. Not the K, just a regular 7700. and a GTX 1060. Now this is the exact same model of that one, but that one I already ordered the replacement fan, so I'm gonna just wait for those to come in. But I paid for these two things. I paid $120 for the computer, and I paid $25 for the graphics card, so it's like $145 for everything right here. And then, I can't really remember how much I paid for this, but this is a GTX 1070. I think I paid, I paid $70 for this and the motherboard down here. Let me show you guys. Well, I'm gonna try to put some B-roll of everything I show you guys, but there's a motherboard down there with the Ryzen 5 3600. He gave me the graphics card, which is a GTX 1070. He gave me the Ryzen 5 3600 and the motherboard. But the motherboard, he said that he couldn't never get it to work. It is an X370 board, and so he assumes that it's because he needs to update the BIOS. And that is the reason it didn't work on the Ryzen 5 3600, but he wasn't sure. He didn't include that in the price. He just gave it to me. So I was like, cool. If I ever get one of those Ryzen 5 1600s, I'll be glad to kind of test it out and all that. So yeah, I paid $70 for everything. So the GPU, the motherboard, and the CPU, but the motherboard is untested, not sure if it works. So yeah, it's a little haul that I have. And since I have everything here, I'm gonna try to save time and just give everything a clean while I'm here and hopefully put some B-roll, but it will be kind of awkward because I don't have like a table now. It will just be on the floor. So we'll get to cleaning right now. After I finish my coffee. And we're done. And so we are done cleaning the builds, but now we're gonna have to take it upstairs. And I found a couple issues, so there's always some little things people lie about. But luckily we get a good price for them, so I'll see you guys upstairs. And so we made it back upstairs. Now, as I hinted at earlier on the clip, there was definitely some little things that I encountered along the way that the dude try to hide, in my opinion. So the first thing I noticed, so when I was there testing it out, I have my keys on me where I have a USB that has like things to test out the computer. I'm talking about like Cinebench and Fornite along with other programs like that. Now I saw the computer, I was like, let me just run some tests. He was like, cool. I try to plug it into the front of the computer, where it has like USBs, right? Like every PC case has like USBs on top and front of the computer. But then he was like, oh, no, I forgot to plug those in. And so I was like, cool. I was like, okay, I'll just plug those in later. And then now that I'm looking at the USB 3.0 connection was actually plugged in. That's when I noticed the pins are bent and it was connected. So the dude knew what he was doing, and he knew that he bent those pins, but he didn't really care. He just told me that he just forgot to plug it in, which is kind of on me. I wish I would have seen it earlier, but that's a small thing. I'm not too worried about it, and I'm gonna actually try to bend it back to hopefully get that fixed. And the other thing I noticed, which was another thing I noticed earlier, but there are usually some hooks. So let me see. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see, but this goes literally attached magnetically, but I'm not sure if you guys see right here, but there are like some little hooks to connect like there's supposed to be a little hook that you slide in, like let's say hypothetically like this, but the dude never even attach them. They're on the other side though. So I know that he knew how to install them, so I'm not sure if he could just forgot to install them when he was done. while he was building the computer or what. But yeah, that's the one thing. It still sticks on, it's just, it hangs like this. And when you close it, you could kind of see the gap, which is pretty annoying, but it's fine. It's not the biggest issue out there. But other than that, thankfully I didn't encounter no like big issues. And like I told you guys, I tested it when I was purchasing it. And then the last thing I'm gonna have to address is the case is still dirty. There's still like some couple fans that have a bit of dust and grime on there. It's not too bad. It was a pain trying to get as much of it off while I was downstairs. But yeah, that's literally all we're gonna do to it. And yeah, I'm gonna start like brainstorming what I'm gonna do with this computer. But for now, we'll try to fix that USB. I'm gonna see if I do any changes to it. I'll update you guys in a bit. So I've been organizing the build a little bit, and I even fixed the USB header. So I was just messing around with it with this, along with this. This is like a little, I bought this from a wrap kit. It's like used for vinyl, and it's like, I used to wrap like power supplies, little things like that. And then I use this to kind of get the pin straight, and it actually completely worked. I tested both of them right now. But now I'm dealing with the issue of swapping out the CPU, because this is a 12700K, but in my little storage I have a 14700K, and I think that CPU would be more fitting in this build. And if I do end up swapping that out, I'm gonna take out this GPU, but in the meantime I'll leave it there just for show, so you guys can see the quote-unquote final product. But yeah, I'm gonna be swapping out that CPU and putting in a little contact frame, those from Fornite, because they like improve temperatures quite a bit. So yeah, I'll see how it goes, and I'll update you guys when I'm done with that. Before I cut it short right there, there's another issue I noticed. So the front fans are supposed to light up, but they don't. But the good news is I see a little flicker of light on all three fans, meaning that I think there's some connection issue, or maybe the dude hooked it up wrong. I'll try to figure that out as well. But first things first, I'm going to deal with the CPU issue and then move on to the next. So it's been around 2 days now. I've been a little bit caught up with school, but we're completely done with the computer. As you guys can see, it's right here. And I'll show you guys what I did to it. But as I was saying, I swapped out the CPU. And then this was something I didn't mention, but I'll show you guys some clips. But I installed these cable extensions. These are some Asian horse cable extensions, and I kind of regret it, but there's also this CPU cable up there, but it's like completely covered up by the CPU cooler, so that was kind of pointless. And I did figure out how to actually turn on the lights in the front, so let me get it turned on. So it's actually just like a controller. He just had it off for some reason, and it doesn't sync up with the Lian Li fans from down here. But I'm sure there's probably like a cable to connect all of that. I didn't go through the trouble of trying to look for it in the back of the computer and all that. But other than that, I got it organized. It has a 14700K in here, and I think it came out really nice. Now another thing I didn't mention that I also did was actually clean out these panels. Now these panels, once they have like dirt on it, it looks dirty. And I've done another video of a computer with this exact case, but in black, and it's a lot more defined, and you could easily see it on a black case. But the grime basically, or the dirt and all the dirty stuff gets in between these little holes. Let me try to show you guys an example. That is why it's like see-through, but when it's dirty, you could kind of see like dirt and grime, and it slowly builds up over time. So what I did was take off. Another thing that I also did that I didn't mention another thing that I also did was actually clean out these panels. Now these panels have like holes in them, as you can see, and when they get dirty, they kind of start looking rough. So what I did was take them off like this, took off the front, took off the top, and then I kind of cleaned them out in my shower with a brush. and some soap, and I got them as clean as possible. So while I did clean the computer and like clean those little panels that are in the back of the computer, what I failed to mention was that it actually accumulated rust, which was really annoying, and wish I had dried the panels before I just let them dry in the shower. But let me show you guys exactly what happened. So you see those little orange spots right there? That's all rust. Like, it's completely rust. And then on top of that, I have a couple screws that actually got a bit rusty. Let me try my best. You see how there's like a little bit of orange on there? That is completely rust. So I was taken by complete surprise when I checked those out after I let them dry throughout the night, and it was rusty, which sucked. But luckily, most of the rust was easily cleanable with like rag. It's just that spot on the top is I just couldn't get it off. And the screw, I'll probably find a replacement somewhere, I'm sure. But other than that, that is the computer, and we'll get on to testing it because I only tested it like with some, and we'll get on, but that was the computer. Those were the little swaps I did. Like I said from the start, it's not gonna be a dramatic change or anything, but I like to take you guys along with the journey. And we'll get to testing right now, see how it performs, see if I find any issues, and who knows, I might have gotten scammed. There might be something wrong with the GPU, I'll never know, but we'll just wait to find out, right? It's honestly very hard to see though, that's the good part. And luckily it was only this part along with the screw that kind of got rusty. So I'll try to clean those out a bit more thoroughly as best I can. But other than that, the computer is pretty much done, but I do have plans, as I mentioned previously, to swap out the CPU. Because just imagine, this is a RTX 3060 with an i7 14700K, that just doesn't make any sense. So I'm gonna see if I can snatch myself a deal on that. But for now, I'm gonna show you guys like some clips of the computer, test it out, make sure everything is running, and we'll see how it cooks. So now we actually got in the testing station. This is usually where I let people come and test out my builds if they're interested in buying them. But yeah, we'll get some games loaded onto the computer and I'll be right back. So we are here and we're gonna test out 3 different games, starting off with Fortnite. We're gonna move on to Marvel Rivals, and then finally we're gonna test Apex. And I will have the MSI Afterburner running in each game. That way you guys can see for yourselves, and yeah, let's see how it goes. Another quick thing to point out is that I am recording on OBS, so keep that in mind. We're on the road to immortal in this game. Just straight off playing benchmarks. Oh, these are all bots, bro. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I was just here. This is where I was at. My kill. Holy smokes, he almost killed me.
they go sing, 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 sing. Yeah, it's that in the game. Sing.
I'm cooling now. Bye bye. What a dumb way to die, bro. That was pretty dumb, but we got the dub. And so we are here and actually playing Marvel Rivals. Here are the settings we're gonna be using. I put frame generation on off. I'm not sure those are the best settings, but I'll try my best. I put everything on high right here, and let's see how it goes. Let me make sure I don't have limit FPS is off. VSync I'm gonna turn off. So yeah, let's see how it goes. And I'm sorry that the little letters on the top left get in the way. I'll give you guys an average at the end. Hopefully that helps.
That one hurts.
I'll patch you up. I'll be ship in no time.
Now might be a good time to stop them.
You're never alone. We're in this together. I'm a soldier. This is real. Stand down.
I'm not gonna lie, we might win. Take that back.
Just like I saw on TV.
GG's.
Another epic victory. Big
2 wins so far, 2 wins. Let's go. Marvel Rivals, Fortnite, we got that. So as you guys can see, I'm now actually in Apex Legends. Here are the settings I'm going to be using. If I'm not mistaken, you turn this off, turn that off, turn off VSync, enable plus boost. I think this is the best settings. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's run some trios. Oh, he's cooked. He's cooked. Yeah, that boy is cooked.
I got you, friend.
Got you, friend. Come on, get up, get up, get up, get up.
Strong enough to beat it. Be careful. There's a new kill leader out there. I need restoration.
An enemy shield. Reloading.
Pierce there.
Got you, my boy. You want to live? I got you.
Friend's banner. This is great. Look out, worlds.
Is that really the
I'm leveled
closest
up and ready to upgrade.
Oh shit.
Contact. Reloading.
Reloading.
I've been scared. More friends are coming to kill us. There's an hostile close.
Oh my goodness. I'm such an NPC at this game.
Here's a tip. Know what you're doing.
We were both cooked. Sorry, so that is Apex. It seems like the average is 175. So the computer worked completely fine as far as performance, but the one thing I didn't address is aesthetics. The computer still looks very plain, and I left like the rainbow colors. It has like no specific color scheme like at all. It's almost like I left like rainbow on purpose or something like that, and it just looks hideous. So that's what I'm going to be addressing right now. We're going to go through each software one by one, and hopefully after I'm done I could get it in a nice white color scheme and hopefully make a montage for you guys, so stay tuned. So after all of these tweaks, we ended up with this. So we made it to the end of the video. I personally love the build. I've always been a fan of the black and white, but if I'm gonna be honest, the personal favorite is always gonna be blacked out builds. But nevertheless, Panda black and white builds sell the most, so can't really go wrong with those. And then not to mention, the parts are pretty much on the high end. I mean, that Kraken alone goes for like $200 on Amazon, so I literally got my money's worth off a couple parts alone. But yeah, this will be the final product. Let me know what you guys thought about the montage as well. And we'll hopefully get some more builds. As you guys remember, I actually have another build that I cleaned out while I was doing the cleaning. So I might have to do a little video on that one soon. So I'll hope to see you there soon. Well, thank you for watching.